Let's do chapter exercise of lesson 6. This is Geordie's phone from your Honeydew book for class 8. While writing, you can pause the video whenever required to match your writing speed. Now let's begin with comprehension check on page number 89. Question 1. What had happened to Geordie's father? Answer. Geordie's father was bitten by a rattlesnake. Question 2. How did the dog save Penny's life? Answer. When Geordie's father, Penny, was bitten by a rattlesnake, he quickly killed a dog and used its heart and liver to draw out the snake's poison as a home remedy to save his life. Question 3. Why does Geordie want to bring the fawn home? Answer. Geordie desired to bring home the fawn because its mother was killed so that its organs, heart and liver could be used to save his father's life. Without the mother deer, the fawn was likely to starve to death in the forest. Geordie felt guilty and did not want to leave the fawn alone and let it die from starvation. Question 4. How does Geordie know that the fawn is a male? Answer. Geordie's father, Penny, had once told him that a male fawn has spots in a sequential line. This knowledge enlightened Geordie on how to distinguish between a male and a female fawn. Let's do comprehension check on page number 90. Question 1. Geordie didn't want Millville with him for two reasons. What were they? Answer. Geordie was unwilling to have Millville to join him in the search of the fawn for two reasons. Firstly, if the fawn was dead or could not be found, he did not want Millville to see his disappointment. Secondly, if the fawn was alive, the meeting would be so lovely and secret that he could not endure to share it with anyone. Question 2. Why was Millville afraid to leave Geordie alone? Answer. Geordie was not so familiar to the forest route, so Millville was afraid to leave Geordie alone as he felt the young boy might get lost in the woods or might even get bitten by a rattlesnake like Penny. Now for comprehension check on page number 93. Question 1. How did Geordie bring the fawn back home? Answer. Geordie tried his best not to scare the fawn away. He gently picked up the little fawn and walked through the thick bushes of the forest, protecting its face from sharp vines. He gently put the fawn down for some time and it initially refused to follow. Geordie took it to his arms and put it down and gradually noticed that it had started to follow him. When they finally reached home, the fawn was unable to climb the stairs. Seeing this, Geordie picked up the little deer in his arms and took it inside the house. Question 2. Geordie was filled with emotion after he found the fawn. Can you find at least 3 words or phrases which show how he felt? Answer. Geordie's mind was filled with emotion when he saw the fawn. When he gently stroked the neck of the little deer, the touch made him delirious. He stroked its sides as gentle as though the fawn were a china deer and he might break it. Finally, when he brought the little deer to his home, it seemed to Penny that the boy's eyes were as bright as the fawn's. Question 3. How did the deer drink milk from the gourd? Answer. Geordie poured milk into a small gourd and kept it in front of the fawn. It butted it suddenly, smelling the milk, but could make nothing of the milk in the gourd. Geordie saved it precariously from spilling over the floor. Then the deer slowly started drinking milk from Geordie's hands when he dipped his fingers in the milk and thrust them into Fawn's soft, wet mouth. He did so several times. Finally, the fawn drank all the milk from the gourd. Question 4. Why didn't the fawn follow Geordie up the steps as he had thought it would? Answer. As the fawn is a wild animal, it is not aware of how to climb the stairs in a house. Hence, when it reached at Geordie's home, it failed to follow him up the staircase. For working with the text on page number 93, question 1. Why did Penny Baxter allow Geordie to go find the fawn and raise it? Answer. Penny Baxter was convinced by Geordie's argument that it would be ungrateful if they left the fawn in the forest to starve. He agreed to Geordie's interest to bring the fawn home as he did not want the little deer, who was orphaned for no fault of its own, to die from starvation. Penny felt a sense of responsibility towards the fawn when Geordie requested him if they could raise the little deer. Question 2. What did Doc Wilson mean when he said, "Nothing in the world ever comes quite free"? Answer. Doc Wilson meant that Penny must pay back to the dog whom he had killed to save his own life by bringing up her fawn. Question 3. How did Geordie look after the fawn after he accepted the responsibility for doing this? Answer. Geordie took very good care of the fawn when he accepted its responsibility. He looked after the fawn just like a mother. When he offered it to drink milk from the gourd, the deer initially didn't know how to respond. However, the deer slowly started drinking milk from Geordie's hands when he dipped his fingers in the milk and thrust them into the fawn's soft, wet mouth. Question 4. How does Geordie's mother react when she hears that he is going to bring the fawn home? Why does she react in this way? Answer. Geordie's mother was astonished when she heard that Geordie wanted to bring home the young fawn. But when she came to know that the dog which saved Penny's life was the little fawn's mother, she was left speechless. She gasped with surprise and held the coffee pot in mid-air. She was not in favor of getting a wild animal at home. She told Geordie that they have nothing else to feed the fawn except Geordie's share of milk. Working with language given on page numbers 93, 94 and 95. Question 1. Look at these pairs of sentences. Penny said to Geordie, "Will you be back before dinner?" Penny asked Geordie if he would be back before dinner. How are you feeling, Pa? Asked Geordie. Geordie asked his father how he was feeling. Here are some questions in direct speech. Put them into reported speech. Number 1. Penny said, "Do you really want it, son?" Answer. Penny asked his son if he really wanted the fawn. Number 2. Millville said, "Will he ride back with me?" Answer. Millville asked if Geordie would ride back with him. Number 3. He said to Millville, "Do you think the fawn is still there?" Answer. Geordie asked Millville if he thought the fawn was still there. Number 4. He asked Millville, "Will you help me find him?" Answer. Geordie asked Millville if he would help him find the fawn. Number 5. He said, "Was it up here that Pa got bitten by the snake?" Answer. Geordie asked Millville if it was up there that Pa got bitten by the snake. Question 2. Look at these two sentences. He tumbled backward. It turned its head. The first sentence has an intransitive verb, a verb without an object. The second sentence has a transitive verb. It has a direct object. We can ask, what did it turn? You can answer, its head. It turned its head. Say whether the verb in each sentence below transitive or intransitive. Ask yourself a what question about the verb. As in the example above. For some verbs, the object is a person, so ask the question who instead of what. So with the help of question who and what, let's solve this exercise. Number 1. Geordie then went to the kitchen. Went what? There is no answer, so it is intransitive. The fawn wobbled after him. Wobbled what? So you don't have an answer, so it is intransitive. You found him. Found what or found who? Found him. So it is transitive. He picked it up. Picked what? Picked it. So it is transitive. He dipped his fingers in the milk. Dipped what? Fingers. So it is transitive. It bleated frenetically and butted him. Bleated what? You don't have an answer for that. So it is intransitive. Butted what? Butted what? Butted him. So it is transitive. The fawn sucked his fingers. Sucked what? Fingers. So it is transitive. He lowered his fingers slowly into the milk. Lowered what? His fingers. So it is transitive verb. It stamped its small hoofs impatiently. Stamped what? Its small hoofs. So it is transitive. He held his fingers below the level of the milk. Held what? Fingers. So it is transitive. The fawn followed him. Followed what? Followed him. So it is transitive. He walked all day. Walked what? So it is intransitive. You don't get an answer. Walked what? He stroked its sides. Stroked what? Its sides. So it is transitive. The fawn lifted its nose. Lifted what? Lifted its nose. So it is transitive. Its legs hung limply. Hung what? You don't have an answer for that. So it is intransitive. Question 3. Here are some words from the lesson. Working in groups, arrange them in the order in which they would appear in the dictionary. Write down some idioms and phrasal verbs connected to these words. Use the dictionary for more idioms and phrasal verbs. Answer. The words would appear in the following sequential order when arranged properly: clearing, close, draw, light, make, parted, pick, scrawny, sweet, wonder. Some idioms and phrasal verbs connected to these words are listed below. Clearing, clearing out, clearing the air, clearing off. Close, a close shave, a close thing, a close call. Draw, draw a blank, draw a line, draw interest. Light, a light heart, bring to light, a guiding light. Make, make a last ditch effort, make a pass, make up your mind. Parted, part with, parting of the ways, part and parcel. Pick, pick out, pick at, take your pick. Scrawny, scrawny thin, scrawny neck, scrawny persona. Sweet, sweet tooth, sweet 16, sweet speaking. Wonder, little wonder, a 9 days wonder, do wonders. So with this, the exercise of lesson 6 is done. Keep your notebook work updated. Do all working with language in the book itself with pencil. Thank you, students.